Hey, what's up? Alright, so since today was a pretty boring day, I figured I'd talk a little bit about my AIT experience at Fort Gordon. Fort Gordon. You all know I'm a 25 uniform, qualified signal support system specialist. At Fort Gordon is where they train all the 25 series, all the combo series, and the 94s, I believe. It's the cybersecurity, something like that. So my specific experience, my AIT, the class was 16 weeks long, plus about a week or so in processing, out processing, and then a week in act. So that was 18 weeks. I was there from July to November. Um, it's not bad. At Fort Gordon, I was a part of Delta Company 369. Pitbull's Halt. Just kidding. There are three phases for us and the 15th Signal Brigade. It was phase 4, phase 5, and phase 5 plus. Phase 4s are your, when you just get there, you have the most amount of restrictions, the least amount of freedoms. You have a white badge, a face badge. Let me see if I have my face badge. Yeah. You guys seen this in my other videos along with some of the other people. These are your phase badges. Mine's orange, phase 5 plus, or was. Phase 4s, they have very few freedoms. You can't bring your phones out of the barracks during the weekends either. You can't get dressed in civilian clothing. And you're basically going to be phase 4s until the first 4 weeks. We didn't test out until 5 weeks in. But the first 4 weeks, and then you take your DIAG, which is just basically your APFT, just an unofficial APFT, which is your Army Physical Fitness Test. Once you pass that with at least 70% in each category, which is your sit-ups, push-ups, and run, and pass your ASU inspection, your room inspection, and a written quiz, then you can phase up to phase 5. Phase 5, you're allowed to wear civilians during the weekends. You're allowed to eat out. That's another thing. Phase 4s aren't allowed to eat out. The only thing you're allowed to eat is a DFAC. But yeah, so I was phase 4 for the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then I phased up to phase 5, and we were phase 5 pretty much until like week 11 or 12, and then phased up to phase 5 plus, and then phase 5 plus is when you get all the freedoms. My first formation during the weekends was 12 o'clock, and then one formation after that. It differs from company to company. There's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo. But no, the 369 battalion housed all the like 25 uniforms, Sierras, Limas, and a few others. The 551 battalion, there was the 25 Bravos. But I had a few buddies there in the 25 Bravos. I think I talked a little bit about that in one of my other videos. So Fort Gordon, the training was, as for the training, um, it was easy. So I graduated top of my class, distinguished undergrad with a 97.29%. We basically, I mean, I can't get into specifics on exactly what we learned, but we learned how to configure, troubleshoot, and set up radios. We learned how to set up networks, switches, routers, TCP/IP, basic computer stuff, N+, AIS. Yeah, the first 8 weeks was the computerized portions, anything government computer. So we were the ITs during that time, learning your basic computer stuff. And then the second 8 weeks after that was all the radio stuff. 25 uniforms are known as the 25 universals because they're supposed to be able to do everything. But yeah, each annex or each course was about a week long, and then every week you'd be doing a different thing. It wasn't bad. I liked it. It was a lot more relaxed than it is at basic, obviously. A lot of people like to tend to think of it as a college setting. It wasn't really like college. I mean, you're in a classroom, depending on what annex you're in, but you're in a classroom for like 8 hours during the day, and it wasn't much like college, but I don't know how to put it. Your instructors are your sergeants. They're sergeants. They're not professors, and they're usually know what they're talking about because they're ones that are in the field. They've done it before. They know how to do it. Most times when you go to college, the professors were taught how to teach. not all the times you'll get instructors that are, professionals in their field. What else? Fort Gordon was not too bad. Delta Company was probably the strictest out of all of them. Every company was kind of known for their little shitbags and what they do. For example, Alpha was known for alcoholics, and Echo was known for their tea. Um, it was just different. I mean, the sergeants talked to us and they'd say, "Hey, when we went through AIT, it was completely different. Like when I went through AIT, which was not that long ago, there was no alcohol. There was you. I mean, there's plenty of things you can't do. You couldn't party. You can go to a hotel or a motel and sleep around, whatever. Um, it was very restricted. These things dictated what you did. I guess right after I left, or right while I was leaving, somebody emailed the company and told the first sergeant or sergeant somebody all the ways that people shitbag. Shitbag is just things you do, like things you shouldn't be doing. They do anyway. Like you weren't allowed to scale the building. Some people scale the building. You weren't allowed to bring food in the barracks. Some people brought food in the barracks. Some people weren't allowed to go off post when they weren't the right phase. That's another thing. Phase 5 plus, you're allowed to go off post. Like you're allowed to leave Fort Gordon and go to Augusta. If you aren't phase 5 plus, you aren't allowed to go. Some people go in anyway. It's just those are your shit bags, right? But I guess somebody sent an email out and told them, I guess I forgot what he said, like how they shit bag or what they do to shit bag. And I guess everyone got a company face down. If you check out Rosella's video, if you check out Rosella's video, he'll talk about being phased down, why he wasn't able to vlog as much. All in all, Fort Gordon wasn't too bad. I mean, in terms of like learning and classwork, it was fun. Like I had a good time. I had I'm not used to Georgia. The bugs in Georgia are different than the ones here. The mosquitoes there leave some massive wounds on me, and I say wounds because that's what they were. If I get bit by a mosquito here, I get a little bump and it itches, whatever. If I get bit by a mosquito in Fort Gordon, it would start to bruise. It would swell up 10 times the area. It was massive. My battle buddies all knew and saw and experienced me going through it. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like PT there, because when I was at Fort Benning, we did PT in a sandbox. When we were at Fort Gordon, we did PT in a big grass field, well, weed field. And when you get down and you're laying and you're doing your PT, I get bit. So when I come back from PT, I'll have these massive bruises, these massive welts, and it was just bad. It made it very uncomfortable and kind of sucked. The PT wasn't too bad. The people sucked. Mostly it was all about the people. The people weren't the greatest. But yeah, I mean, the instructors were cool. The base was alright. The food was really good. Mostly it was just the people that sucked. It really wasn't too bad. Like, your battle buddies are cool. Like, some of them were okay, some of them were pretty lame. But that's what made or break it. Like, in terms of food, the DFAC was actually pretty good. A lot of people complained, but it was food. 3 meals a day. Had really good hot breakfast. You had cereal if you had the option. They even had ice cream. Lunch and dinner. The only thing that kind of sucked is that you couldn't have like a midnight snack, or you couldn't bring food in. If you late and you were hungry. And Delta Company and I believe Echo Company are both swing shifts. I'm gonna say I know for sure Delta is. Delta's swing shifts. Echo's not swing shifts, but Delta's swing shifts. So we go to class starting at like 1700, and we'll be in class until midnight. Then when we get back from midnight, then we have our chow, which wasn't too bad. It's just our first formation during the day was 0800, and it wasn't. I kind of like it out better because then the day you have time to do what you need. Like if you need to get a haircut, you get it during the day. If you're on the day shift, then the only time to get a haircut is during the weekend. Yeah, I mean, Fort Gordon's not too bad. I like I said, I liked it. It's just some of the people sucked. Some of the sergeants didn't seem like they cared. Our specific platoon sergeant, he was good. Like he did so much for us. And not a lot of people noticed it because he was hardly there. But the reason why he was hardly there is because he was always in his office working or doing something else for us. Genuinely a sergeant that cares. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, post away, post it in a comment. I'll answer it, answer the best of my ability. But yeah, that was a little bit of my experience at Fort Gordon, Georgia. All 25 uniforms.